downside of that is. Let me ask one, how long, did we talk about this? What's the length of time that remains on a person's credit, say a foreclosure or a deed in lieu of foreclosure? How long is that affecting their credit?
Well, there's different criteria. The bottom line is most things damage can stay up to 10 years. How they impact a loan is a different criteria. So if something stays on a credit report, the key is when someone is going to either sell them another property or they are going to get them that loan, what is the criteria for the loan?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Understand?
Good. So, what does someone do? They found themselves with one of these life events that's occurred to them, and their credit is being hurt as a result of that. Do they have options? What can they do to help recover from that event?
Good question. Well, like I said at the very beginning, you want to deal with someone that's going to give you great advice. Once again, we work by referral, so we're not motivated to make money for the bottom line. So our major focus as Credit Line IQ is to educate the consumer on how to walk through these events. We will coach them on what impacts the score. We will coach them on the things that they can do to improve and the things that they want to stay away from. Because as they go through this, we want to lessen that damage and get them to where they can, fund again if that's their choice.
Okay, Ken, let me ask you a very specific question, and it may affect people out there. I'm faced, let's say, with some mortgage lates, and I'm back to work, things are back on track, I'm not going to do a foreclosure, I'm not going to do a short sale, but I want to repair those mortgage lates. Is there some way to mitigate that and get that reversed in your credit report?
Well, the basic premise is that anything that's put on your credit report, the creditors have an obligation to verify that. So there is a public law, 91-508, that states that we have a right to verify this. Now, many people, if they do it on their own or if they hire a less than reputable credit repair company, they're going to send letters and dispute I'm not late or whatever. But to answer your question specifically, with our firm, our company, yes, we do. We dispute things, and we typically see a 40% success rate at removing negatives in the first 45 days.
So there's hope.
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Good. On the continuum of things that are, that impact your credit score, is it worse to have a foreclosure or a short sale? How does that impact?
Yeah, which one do you pick and choose?
Right. Well, if you're going to pick and choose, A is you want to do the very best to not have lates, because once again, that does impact you the most. If it was an option of turning your keys over or a foreclosure and you had the option for a short sale, yes, you'd want to do that. Why? It's because you can fund again. You can buy another house. So that's generally why people want to come to us, because they're looking for a fundable event, usually real estate.
Okay, all right. What else? Answer that.
Well, one of the things you have here is regarding deficiency judgments. Can you explain what a deficiency judgment is, and is that something that banks are involved with these days?
Good question. Coming from the old school, we never really thought about this type as an option. We always looked.
Aren't we governed by? Isn't there a California law that precludes?
Correct.
The deficiency, if it's purchased money?
There is federal laws and there are state laws. So, we don't advise anybody on the legality. In fact, we refer people to competent real estate attorneys or CPAs that can answer some of those questions. But specifically, if someone is going to go through that event, we want them to understand that the foreclosure could have ramifications with the deficiency judgment. So a deficiency judgment is where the banks have a legal right for up to 4 years to file a judgment.
Okay.
So that's what we should be concerned with.
Okay.
So that's a judgment as opposed to issuance of a 1099.
Yeah, usually you'll see both. Usually people are in that position, they're not real concerned with the 1099 because with a competent CPA, they're probably not in a situation where the 1099 is going to hurt them.
Right. Well, back in 2007, I understand that President Bush also signed some legislation about foregoing the requirement for banks to issue a 1099 on a short sale or a foreclosure. So there is some
Correct.
legislation, some relief that's there for folks in that
Yes.
regard.
Yeah, I'm not 100% a legal expert, but I do have a layman's understanding of that.
Okay.
All right, we're not giving legal advice here. But
I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. I'd like to ask, because this is my realm in doing in real estate, faced with these dilemmas, when can I become a purchaser again? When can I buy again, realistically?
Okay.
When I've lost my home.
Well, we work with a lot of people in that situation, and a lot of people, like we talked before, are even facing bankruptcy. So there is events that affect your credit, and they appear to be a block. But from the lending world, there is restrictions that are not an issue. For example, with the bankruptcy, you can purchase a home in 3 years. Now, naturally, you have to have your credit up. So
In the other areas, which we
correct.
talked about, the maximization of the
Right.
credit
Right.
cards. And
right,
those.
and to clarify,
But
that's
you know that.
3 years from the point that that has been discharged, not
Exactly.
filed. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Which are two different
There's
dates.
two different
Correct.
events.
Okay.
So with the foreclosure and a short sale,
Foreclosure remains, is it 7 years on the credit?
well, I'll have to be honest, I don't know exactly the answer to that question. I do know with the short sale, I believe it's within 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
And then a
Yeah.
bankruptcy lasts 10. Is that correct?
Well, a Chapter 7 will stay on your credit report for 10 years. But you can, if it's your first-time home buyer, FHA loan, you can purchase in 2 years. If it's a conventional loan, you can purchase in 3.
Right, but there are also credit score limitations as well
Exactly.
with what folks are able to do in terms of qualifying for that loan, and lenders are using what they call risk-based pricing as well. So,
Exactly.
the more that your credit score falls, the more you're going to pay for that loan. Not only on a mortgage, but also ongoing for things like your revolving credit. Your credit cards and other such accounts. So, keeping your credit pristine, or if you've had a bump in the road, getting someone to help you out with coaching around that, and to look at ways that you might be able to mitigate some of those things is
Definitely.
pretty important, because it makes life much cheaper in the long run.
Absolutely.
Good, very
We
well
are
put.
being flagged down. We got fun on this one. I really enjoyed this. Ken, I would like you to offer to the viewers where they can reach you if they are in need of your services or
Well, I'd love
get
to
some
do
advice.
that. So our company is Credit Line IQ. Our website is www.creditlineiq.org. Or you can call our office directly at 702-543-1841. We're located corporately in Pleasanton, California, but we work across the whole United States.
Okay, excellent.
Great. Ken, thanks so much.